Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the hashtag sports presentation of Tailgate Talk. I am your host, Mario. This is my boy. What size is he on? This is Tommy from the Mafia Sports Report. Mike, they call me out of the bullpen today, Mike or Tommy. They call me out of the bullpen and fill Mike's spot. So hopefully I could do you guys some justice here. I don't usually do this kind of thing. Podcasting? What is this?
I know, it's crazy. We appreciate you coming out, man. Getting your clothes on and getting ready for this, man.
I got my Spider 2 Y banana shirt on.
Right,
I'm definitely ready. So Tommy Hitman, John Marlowe come in right away. Yeah, guys, it's I don't know how all the Bills fans feel about this. It's almost like I'm trying to temper expectations. I'm trying to do this, that, and the third, but it's like Christmas Eve for me, Tommy. I don't know. How do you feel about this game coming up tomorrow?
Dude, I've been waiting.
Sunday, my bad.
I've been waiting since the moment we were kicked out of the playoffs in the FC Championship game. I mean, seriously, like I'm like Diggs. I'm still standing at my TV screen.
That's perfect. Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
You know?
Well, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, hashtag sport, obviously, hashtag nation. We're going to give you the tailgate talk tonight. We're going to break down the finer points of the game, and we were talking off air a little bit. There's going to be some opposing views going into this game between me and Tommy, so it's going to be a very, very good discussion. Make sure you hit that like button and that subscribe button if you haven't subscribed yet. And we also want to thank our sponsors for tonight's show, Mr. Rogers Homes. Sean Rogers, the top 1% realtor in all of Arizona. If you're thinking of moving out to the Valley of the Sun, his link will be in the description, as well as our merch and Patreon, as well as iTunes and Spotify. Also, sponsoring the show, CBDX.com. If you use the promo code HTS, you get an extra 20% off. So go to CBDX.com for all of your needs. The thing about it, in the description, I apologize. Some of the links aren't working. I will have that fixed upon completion of this show. So you can go down as soon as the show's over. If you're watching this on the next day, they'll be all fixed. So you don't have to worry about it. So Bills fan 1970. I am the number one roasted guy in this. He said, Mario, remember when you thought we were going to lose to the Dolphins? I did.
Wow. Did you really say that?
I did. But in all fairness,
shame on you. Is this a Bills podcast I'm on? What is going on here?
Never. In all fairness, Paul thought that we were going to lose to Washington. So.
Oh, good Lord. I got to talk to you both about what is going on with you two. Losing to the Dolphins. Good Lord.
A lot of times we want to err on the side of caution with certain things that go on with the Buffalo Bills. So above anything else, we try to be objective here. You know that. So that's going to be one of them. Just like 9-7 last year. Spin, let it go, man. Let it go.
Oh,
just like
bad.
Frozen. Let it go.
Yikes.
Let it go.
Right.
But before we get into tonight's debate of the Buffalo Bills versus the Kansas City Chiefs as we break down the finer points, I tweeted out the other day, which really not a lot of people caught on to. I mentioned it the other day. Tommy, you let me know if your take on this. Yards allowed through the first 4 games of the season. 1985 Bears, 1,334. 2013 Seahawks, the Legion of Boom, 1,201. 2000 Ravens, 996. 2019 Patriots, when they thought that was the team that was going to go, 972. Currently, the 2021 Bills, 867 yards allowed in the first 4 games. Your thoughts on this defense coming out of the gates as strong as they have?
Little surprising, but not too surprised. Listen, we have one of the best defensive coordinators in the NFL, hands down. And Leslie Frazier is unbelievable. And Sean McDermott is unbelievable as a defensive coach. So they work so well together. I think last season was, I hate to use the COVID excuse, but kind of is. They were missing star. There was no offseason really to work out. Like, I just think they were in a funk and they couldn't get out really until the end of the season. You kind of started to see the defense gel a little bit more as the season went on. But this season, with the young additions of Rousseau, AJ coming into his own, and Milano playing out of his mind, Tremaine Edmonds, another year of him just getting smarter with the playbook, everything like that. And also, the number one thing to me has been tackling. The tackling has been night and day since last season.
Yeah.
And it's just it's showing, man. It's just They, like I said, Jerry Hughes, Mario Addison getting less reps. They're coming in fresher. We're attacking the quarterback more because of that. And we're stopping the run. I mean, it's just really gelling right now, man. It's kind of like the offense of last season, right? I almost feel like it's a reversal. So the offense came out on fire last season, and now it's the defense's turn. And now the offense is coming around. Unlike the defense from last season that took a long time for them to finally start clicking. Man, it's dangerous team, man. Very dangerous.
I remember the one title. I can't remember what title it was, but it was last year during COVID, and I remember Charles Barkley making a reference to he called it the bubble title of the, the guy, the NBA champions winning the bubble title, and it's pretty much what it was last year with no fans in the stands, nothing, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest difference as far as from an offensive standpoint from last year until this year is they're not shocking anybody. You know what Allen brings to the table. You know what this offense brings to the table. They're going to try to slant and do everything they can to stop Diggs. That's why you go out and you get a Sanders. You know what I mean? That's why, using Beasley in the slot. Knox has found himself in one-on-one situations with linebackers that he's winning now, and he's starting to hold on to the ball, which is huge. Triggs comes in just really quick. He said if Chris Jones doesn't play, that's going to be a huge loss for the Chiefs because that's their best defensive player. Sorry, losing him will make it worse for them. It will make it worse for them. But even in the games that he did play, which is one of the things that we're going to talk about tonight, as far as it's interesting to me, the mystique now that carries with the Kansas City Chiefs as far as their scoring and how good offensively they are. They're a team that is, if you look at the defense, their defensive statistics now, 31st in total yards, 27th in passing, 31st in rushing, 31st in points, but 22nd in third downs, which I think is huge. Number one, what team goes 2-2 with those defensive stats? Number two, how is that team favored over a 3-1 team that has outscored their opponents almost by 100 in the past 3 games? Can you explain that?
A team with a high-powered offense that can match up to the defensive woes, right? So the defense is giving up points and yards and all that, but if the offense is scoring in the high 30s or, they have a chance, right? They haven't blown anyone out, right? The games have all been kind of close, except for maybe Cleveland was a little, but even in the beginning was close, right? So they can do it, but how long can they sustain this, right? Like their offense is eventually going to have a bad game, and there goes your loss. And that's what happened on their 2 losses. So, their defense is bad, really bad. They rank pretty much last. They're 31st. I mean, there's only like one more team that's worse, right? So, there's no excuse for the Buffalo Bills offense to fall flat this game. If we're going through 4 games already for a team that's defensively lost, it's going to be it's really up to the offense. I'm not worried about the defense. I think our defense will be fine this game, man. But they do score.
They do. And Scott Blakely comes in and says, Mario, they don't believe the Bills played anyone. That's why. I understand that wholeheartedly, but I could understand making the Chiefs a 3-point favorite if the Bills beat their last 3 opponents by like a combined 6 points. So if you don't think you're playing anybody and then you barely beat them, that's one thing. Right. They are blowing teams out, and they are defensively dominating the game. And I think the biggest storyline that's kind of getting missed this week is the fact that the Buffalo Bills are currently 5th in rushing yards, while the Kansas City Chiefs are 31st. It seemed to be the general narrative, Tommy, that in order to beat the Chiefs, you got to keep Mahomes on the sidelines. Does this seem like the perfect recipe to unleash Moss and Singletary on this defense of Steve Spagnuolo?
I would say early on, yes, to kind of get them on their heels, right? So you run the ball, and then you start mixing in the play action, right? Because that's the one thing that was always our kick. We can't really do play action if we're not running, right? So last season was a disaster. This season's gotten a lot better. And with Spencer Brown, I thought last week, the run game, I tweeted out and you hollered back at me and said, or I think it was you or Paul, like, hey, what are you talking about? Like our run blocking's pretty good.
That was me.
I got to take it back. That game, it was a lot better. But that's because Spencer Brown is very athletic. He's getting to the outside, causing a little bit of havoc, right? Deion Dawkins, by the way, is recovering. He's probably 100% now. If I would assume, because he's played way better night and day since game one.
Yes, absolutely.
So that's a big deal too for the run game.
Absolutely. And we got John Marlowe coming in. Need to play. I don't know why he's yelling at me. John, why are you yelling at me? He's all caps.
Right.
All
Whoa.
caps. Okay, I need to play lights out in the trenches, control ball along and score all possessions. Don't turn the ball over and believe in themselves and they can win. I agree with that wholeheartedly. And then you start thinking about certain scenarios that happen with the Buffalo Bills, trying not to overthink certain situations. Now, you can't, if you're gifted a possession as far as a turnover is concerned, I don't think you could take 3. I think as well as this defense is playing, the number one defense is scoring defense in the NFL. You can't just go down there and get 3 and then just get another 3 or just do that. I mean, we saw it happen in the AFC Championship game. The Buffalo Bills went up 10 and then all of a sudden all the wheels fell off. And it was just bad. But Spencer Brown, you go back to your Spencer Brown point, this guy, I mean, all linemen love run blocking. I mean, in the years that I've played, the years that I've coached, they hate pass blocking. They hate waiting for somebody to come in and punch them in the face. They love to fire off the ball and do that. And I agree with your point on Dawkins, is the fact that he's had a month to get himself acclimated, his legs underneath him. He's been able to get a little bit healthier. I understand that wholeheartedly. And then if you go over to the other side of the ball, a point that I want to bring up with you as well, Tommy, is this. Jeff Yin Yang says it. He says, Star deserves credit, bro. He made the entire defense light up. I could pull out receipts now, Tommy. When I said that missing Star on this offense, like the first year he was here, everyone was like, he's getting blown off the ball. Why is he here? Why'd they pay him all this money? Blah, blah, blah. I was like, this guy does things that don't show up in the stat sheet. Right. He really anchors that line. And the fact that the Buffalo Bills are going up against 2 rookie, a center and a right guard with that defensive tackle front, I think is being severely underplayed this week. You talk about the run game for the Bills. Let's take a look at the other side real quick of the defensive front of the Bills versus the offensive front, which is completely new and revamped, of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Right. No doubt. Listen, by the way, I'm guilty of the Star, like not liking the Star even when he was a free agent. We picked him up. And I remember, what's funny, because listen, I was been watching you and Paul forever. I remember seeing a tweet or hearing you say, hey, what his stats aren't going to show for this guy. It's like you're not really seeing what he really does on the field, and that's why they love him. And boy, did I see that when he did not play in 2020.
Oh my God.
Bro, the guy is a beast. He takes up doubles multiple times. And Ed Oliver, if you notice now, he's eating that whole front. And what I like about this game is it's a total, bro, the way the front's playing, they're going to push back that line. And that's when the edge, like AJ Epinesa, Gregory Rousseau, Jerry Hughes, they're going to swallow up that quarterback when he's trying to get out of the pocket and get away from it, Ed Oliver or Star Lotulelei. We're a dangerous team, man. We have finally put the pieces together. And that's what I love, man. This team is, I'm telling you, this defense is rocking, man.
Star Lotulelei has a total of 7 tackles. He's got 2 sacks this year. Rousseau's got 2. I mean, obviously you got Milano, Taron Johnson, and Micah Hyde, all with 1 coming off the edges. But even Zimmer's got a sack and Mario Addison as well. And Boogie got his first one last week. But like, I'm just saying, you have no idea how much that opens up for your defense in the long run when he, like you said, he is eating up 2 bodies in there on nearly every play, which leaves Rousseau one-on-one, Epinesa one-on-one, Hughes one-on-one, Oliver, like you said, he's eating. But what it also does is it keeps those guards from getting free reign on the second level into the linebackers, which missing Star last year, as you said, when they got to the second level, you started to see more injuries out of Edmonds, injuries out of Milano. Yep. Now, Milano's a little banged up. We'll get to him in a second. But being able to eat up bodies 4 versus 5 allows your defense to either play 7 in coverage if you want, bring an extra guy if you want, and it just has so much more effectiveness as far as your defensive play calling. Now, this year, as opposed to last year, I'll say this, it's more Frazier than McDermott in my mind, because a lot of the things that are being – a lot of the maybe personnel decisions, a lot of the stunts, twists, and everything that's going on is more of a Frazier type defense, which we seen McDermott take the helm when he didn't like what was going on, and it was very
Right.
vanilla, basically. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just try to get pressure with 4. Now they're starting to get pressure with 4, and you're starting to see the benefit of what's going on. Edmonds is flying around the ball, 2-time defensive player of the week, or wasn't he? He's a 2-time
I
defensive
think
player of
so.
the week.
I believe so.
And now,
but yeah, you're right. You're 100% right. I think Frazier has gotten a little bit more say play calls.
Yes.
Like, I don't think McDermott's stepping in as much as he was previous seasons, but that's awesome. That's very rare. I think a defensive coordinator who as good as Frazier will accept McDermott kind of stepping in and it kind of working together. That's really, really cool. By the way, I don't think Frazier's going to be our coordinator like next season. It's going to suck, but he's too good. And I think teams are now starting to really understand what the guy will bring to the table.
I started, I think I said that last week on the postgame. By the way, Apex dropped in and said hello. What you doing?
Oh, Mikey.
What you doing, Mikey? What you doing? Keeping your seat warm,
cake?
buddy. True, yeah. How's the cake, buddy? We'll get to the comment section in a second. As we said, Jeff Union comes in once again. He says, Milano might not play. I pray he plays.
Yeah, me too.
We may have different I see, Tommy, I'm a conspiracy theorist, and I just love bringing up and stirring shit. So I will say this. When Milano got hurt and went out, and then you saw the Christmas list of players that was on the injury report, I think that's a little sleight of hand of mind games, I think, with McDermott and Reed. I think that's like, oh, wait, they won't have him. Let's plan for this, or let's plan for this. Or plan. Truthfully speaking, they didn't even need to dress Milano that game against Houston. You didn't.
No, they didn't.
You really didn't. So by taking him out and putting him in the tent for a while and taking him out for the game, you really didn't need Milano at all.
Right.
But
it's kind of like the Poyer thing.
Something has to be said though for a guy that prepares, gets himself ready for the week, prepares, starts, something like that. I don't put Milano and Poyer on the same level as that. So that's why you don't dress Milano. You dress, or why you don't dress Poyer, but you dress Milano. I think he's going to be ready to go. I think he's going to be an integral part of the game, because we had another comment that somebody said, let me scroll up, because we're working our way back. We started defensive front. Now we're on the linebackers. Jeff, I'm not partial to Jeff Yin. I'm just letting you guys know this, but he said trade day on Kelce, which I love. Let me know 2 things, Tommy. 1, your take on Milano, and 2, putting Trey on Kelce for the day. I told you I'm a conspiracy theorist, man.
No, I don't want that. I don't. Kelce is I do not. Listen, think about it like the Arizona game, right? A big tall receiver as DeAndre Hopkins who can go up and get a ball. Kelce will eat Trey on those catches, and Trey's not going to have a chance. Of course, on a big bodied tight end like Kelce. We're not talking about some bummy tight end. We're talking about the best tight end in the league. I love Trey, but listen, if we're worried about, there's only 3 guys on offense I'm really concerned about. It's Mahomes, Kelce, and Tyreek Hill, right? Tyreek Hill to me is the guy that's the one, that's the mystery of it all. Like, that's the guy, like, is the tough guard to me, the toughest on the field. He is super fast. He can run routes. And if you give him a space, that 10-yard pass can turn into 30, 40 to the house very quick. So I'm more concerned about him than Kelce. I'll be real with you. The Hill, getting, because the yards after catch kills us every time.
We got a lot of guys coming in. They have Hill, and they obviously, I don't know if Gordon's going to be activated. That's just something I don't know.
I'd have Saran Neal on Kelce. Excuse my language. I have Saran Neal on Kelce more than Trey. Saran Neal can hit. I think Saran Neal will body him up a little bit.
I think he'll body him up, but I think there's a lot of linebackers or larger corners, safeties that have tried to body him up with very little success. Yeah, because he is so good. And we got someone coming in the chat saying Kittle. I think it's a toss up. You can say Kittle, you can say Kelce. There's
That's true. Yeah,
there's
yeah.
29 other
they're very
teams that would
close.
love to have that problem. You know what I mean? Between those two. Apex comes in and says Poyer or Hyde on Kelce. I'm going to say no, and I'll tell you why. Here's why I like Trey for a couple of reasons. I like Trey on Kelce. Trey will be physical with him. Although he doesn't have the body to be physical with him, he can get up in his mug. He can knock him off his routes, upset the timing of certain things that are going on. What I think you're gonna why I also like him on him is that you're freeing up Hyde and Poyer to bracket Hill if you need it with the corner, because there's nobody on this defense fast enough to catch Hill. There's probably nobody in the NFL fast enough to catch Hill. So you need a bracket or a guy over the top of Hill so he doesn't hit those home run balls that kill so many teams. So you need either Hyde up top or Poyer up top. And by doing those two things, by putting Trey on Kelce, by bracketing Hill, what's the other thing that Andy Reid loves to do? He loves throwing to running backs. He loves dumping those little passes off. That frees up your fast linebackers, either Edmonds or Milano, to go on Edwards-Helaire or anybody else that they have in that game. So, like, you pick your poison in here, okay? So you're sitting there going, okay, we're going to put Milano on Kelce. We're going to put Edmonds. Edmonds didn't really cover Kelce very well last year, in my opinion. He couldn't really do it. If you put Trey, who's not really been very successful against speedsters, he's been very good against possession guys. I know you mentioned Hopkins. Hopkins is a big body guy. To me, it's a 50-50 of the battles that they've had. It's sometimes, Trey gets it, sometimes Hopkins gets it. I haven't gone over the official stats, but to me, it's a 50-50. He's more of a physical corner for those slower possession wide receivers. And that's not a knock to him. That's just how he plays the game. It's a zone coverage scheme. That's how they play the game on defense. So in that respect, I think it's almost like the butterfly effect. You start talking about if you put Trey on Kelce, who can knock him off his routes. You got Hyde and Poyer up top to help with Hill, and then frees up your linebackers to cover the backside of the backfield. Once you start taking those options away, then as we go back to the defensive front, Rousseau, Hughes, Oliver, those guys could eat and get into Mahomes faster. So
yeah, that's true.
In my opinion, that's it. There's a logic that I like. There's a domino of logic that I have down.
Yeah. I mean, I think Milano's athletic enough to guard him. I do. I mean, is he going to stick him every single time? No, but I wouldn't mind Milano either. To be honest with you, I think he'd be a good guard on him as well.
Yeah, I mean, Milano did earlier in his career. He did cover Gronk a few times, so he knows how to cover those big athletic tight ends.
Right.
So that's going to be something that we're going to have to watch out for. Stefan comes in, guys. I have a solution. Put Christian Wade on Kelce.
Is he even on the? Is he on the squad?
He's on the. I think he's protected through the.
Is he still protected on the international thing? Mm-hmm. Okay, I didn't hear much. I thought they didn't even do that. I thought they just kept him around or not. I didn't hear nothing about him.
Anthony Armstrong coming in and says, "Hope it was a cramp Sunday for Milano." I don't know. He's been on the. He hasn't been practicing the whole week, so that's one of those things where we're gonna have to monitor it closely, see what's going on. I love Sierra Neal's physicality. I just think I just hope the moment's not too big for him, as far as covering Travis Kelce, like so many people have tried to. Teron Johnson, I don't think is a solution. I think you put Teron Johnson on Pringle or any of those other guys that come in the slot position. That's where you.
I wouldn't mind him on Hill. I think Teron Johnson. Speaking of that, he's one of our fastest players on D. I mean, if anyone's going to kind of try to keep up with him, Teron Johnson's not. He's not slow by any means. I mean, did you see the interception where he lit up and flew past Lamar Jackson?
Yes,
super fast.
I remember that. Yeah. Oh yeah. That's straight.
It's not like he's a slow guy.
The thing that separates Hill, though, I think, from all the other receivers in the league is that he can go from 0 to 60, back to 0, back to 60 again. That's what makes him so dangerous. Teron, when he ran that pick back, he was flying, but to change direction as well with Hill when you don't know where he's going that terrifies me.
He's a better version of the kick returner they used to have there. Forget the name of the guy. You know who I'm talking about?
Dante Hall.
Dude, yes, that guy was an unbelievable.
The joystick,
the joystick. That guy was unbelievable. You kind of like him, but obviously way better receiving wise. But speed wise and stopping on a dime and going, like you said, 0 to 60. That guy was like that too, man. Very similar in speed.
What week does Stevenson come back? I'm not sure.
Last week I think it was supposed to be live. It was only 4 weeks. Remember?
Okay.
The IR was short.
Yes, the IR was short. So I mean, covering the defense and how you're going to attack this, because I mean, I think the Buffalo Bills, in the opponents that they've played, obviously they're not up to, you talk about the quarterback play. You had Big Ben, you had Brissett, you had Taylor Heineke, and then you had Mills. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes is a different echelon of quarterback. I think the Buffalo Bills, with their defense playing so well, I just hope that they're mentally tough enough not to flinch if they score on the first possession.
Right.
You know what I mean? Now,
the coaches too, by the way.
Yeah.
The coaches too. I got to bring that up.
That's a great point.
They're the same thing. I think, like you were saying last season in the playoffs, I think the coaches were just as fault. They flinched on everything, on offense, defense. McDermott got out coached. He thought Double probably guessed himself in that game, probably multiple times, and plays that he probably would have done against any other team.
Yeah.
And you can't play that way, and I was expecting him not to in that playoff game. So I hope he learned his lessons, which they seem like everybody has so far on this team, right? Yeah. Since he's become coach, they all kind of bounced back the very next season, and they did things differently. So hopefully they don't play into the Chiefs' hands. That's the only thing I would be concerned about. Just play your game, do what you're doing, and if you have to do any in-game adjustments during the game, fine, and do them. But don't back off. Play your game, and let's see what happens, man.
All right. So I'm going to solicit for this next point. I'm going to solicit the chat, and this is strictly for you, Tommy. This is going to be strictly for you. I want the chat to name 3 main Buffalo food staples. Like, obviously, chicken wings might come up, but I want you to name 3 main food staples in the chat, and I'm going to throw those to Tommy in my point that I'm about to give him right now. Also, guys, if you haven't hit that like button, why don't you go ahead? There's about 50 people in here. Hit that like button. It goes out to all the Buffalo Bills fans.
For sure.
Evan Anderson, beef on wick. Tim Hortons is Canadian, Jeff.
Hey.
Blue cheese. Jessica Tennis says blue cheese. Wings, weck, and hot dogs. Josh Jacks, maybe Mighty Taco I'm about to see very soon. Wings, beef on weck, and pizza. Okay, because here's the deal. You got beer. Here's you, Tommy. You go up. There's a buffet for you, Tommy. There's a buffet. You got beer, whiskey, bison dip chips, wings, beef on weck, hot dogs, and everything.
Okay.
The Buffalo Bills offense, seemingly going up against this very wounded and weak defense, could pick their poison on how they want to score against the Chiefs. Now, this hasn't been said a lot before, but like I said at the onset of the broadcast, 31st in yards allowed, 27th in passing yards, 31st in rushing yards, 31st in points. It's seemingly the Buffalo Bills can choose how they want to beat up on the Chiefs defense.
Yes.
And that's why it's going off our previous point about the coaches shooting themselves in the foot. I have all the respect in the world for Steve Spagnuolo, the defensive coordinator for the Chiefs. I think he's playing with half a deck right now. I think it's really tough for him. But if you are the offensive coordinator going in against the Kansas City Chiefs, tell me what Tommy, the OC, is doing on Sunday.
I'm opening up the special Dable playbook that he probably hasn't opened up yet.
Ooh, okay.
Right? And I am going all out on this game because
really,
it was you that said the little tweet that you said that it's not that much of a it's not that important if we win or lose, just another game. It's not another game. To me, this is a statement game, not just the fact for the Chiefs. It's a statement for the whole AFC. Right? It's a statement saying we're not the little brothers anymore. We're the fucking big brothers now. We fucking just coasted past the Kansas City Chiefs, the AFC defending champions, and we're making a fucking point that we're coming for you, and we're the real deal. Because if we lose this game and we look like the same Buffalo Bills of 2020 who go to their stadium and play to their style of football and get wiped out like we have twice now, it's not good. It's not just the regular game, because now we see them again in the playoffs, and it's just the same old Buffalo Bills going again, the same thing. It's nothing's going to change. So I want this to be a statement game. I want this. We need to go into their house, tell them who the real dogs are, and beat them bad, and bruise their ego, because they still got an ego. They're 2-2, right, Mario? But they still have a big fucking ego, right? And also, by the way, Sean McDermott, these coaching staffs need to go to the next level, right? I'm tired of the coaching tree. Oh, hey, I'm from the, Andy Reid coach tree. No, man, it's over with. You've been our head coach now. It's time to take the reins. It's time to pass that dude. Time to show who the boss is, what you learn. Let's do it. That's what I want. I don't think this is a regular game. I don't. I just, this is a statement game for everybody, like I said, in the whole AFC. We are the real deal, just like the Patriots did for many seasons, right? They made a statement, like, get the fuck out of the way. They don't care who you are. And this is it, man. We made, by the way, we made that statement to the AFC East last season.
Yes.
When we beat every single AFC East team. This is a statement when we beat the AFC champions that we are the team to beat in the AFC. Hands down. There is no debate anymore. That's it. And then we see them in a championship game and we blow the roof off that in our home, in our stadium. That's what I want. That's why this game's important. To me.
I don't doubt that the game's important. And I agree with you 175,000% with every word you said, for the psyche of this Bills team to move forward, to make that step, for the coaching staff, for the players, for their psyche to move ahead in the right direction, to say, hey, we beat the three-time defending AFC, well, they were AFC championship game 3 years in a row, but they only won it twice, but they beat the defending AFC champions. The thing that I was trying to do mainly with the tweet, because I tweeted out, if the Bills win this game, it's great for the AFC standings. If the Bills lose, it's going to be poor for the AFC standings. But like I said, it's just one game. And what I meant by that was, if the Buffalo Bills win this game, however many points, it's still one game. It's one win.
No doubt.
It counts the same numerically as beating the Houston Texans. It's a non-divisional AFC game. If they lose it, there's still how many games left in the season for them to make a run at the playoffs and the Super Bowl? So, like, that tweet was specifically designed for the psyche of the Bills. You get kicked in the teeth by the same team every year, all the time. And it's going to wear on you as a player. That's what happens. These players think a lot of their performances and how they play certain teams. What happens? There were teams that lost to the Patriots before they got off the damn bus when they were in their heyday.
Right.
Like, just because it was the Pats. Just because it was the Pats. So,
that's right.
So I'll say this. If the Buffalo Bills were to win, it's a huge statement game, yes. But it's still only one win, and then they got to go to play the Titans the following week on Monday. If they lose, don't throw out the season. You're nobody against the Titans. You know what I mean? So
yeah, no, I wouldn't throw out the season. Yeah, no, I don't mean throw. You lose to the Chiefs. I get what you're saying. That doesn't mean the season. Oh God, it's over. It's over.
Yeah, but you know how Bills fans get, man. We're the same way. We're like, oh,
no, hey, I was pissed week 1, right? like we all were. But I did say, well, there's 16 games to go, and if we're gonna have a bad game, week 1, like cool, like get it over with, fix that shit. But I still think this game is not a must win, but man, for Buffalo Bills, for Josh Allen, right? For the coach, McDermott, this is very important. They may be playing it off, dude. Oh, were they on the schedule? Oh, I didn't know. They're next week. It's like, dude, I don't buy that. I'm sorry, but I don't buy that. Of course, you're playing the fucking. It's like a boxer saying he didn't know the championship fight was next week. Like, who you're fighting, right? You know who's lined up next. So for sure, dude, I don't buy into that. Like, trust me, this game means more than you think. And if they win, you're going to see it on their faces. You're going to know when they're doing the interview how happy they are. because this isn't a Houston Texans or a
No.
Washington Football. This is a big time game and by the way, Sunday Night Football. You can't get any bigger than this.
No.
Sunday Night Football is the real deal. You got the best announcers. This is it.
Arrowhead has been known, at least in my view, I would put it as when teams are good. I'm not saying when teams are horrible, obviously. I'm going to say when teams are good. It's the Midwestern version of Seattle, trying to go and win in Seattle. When they were in their heyday, going in there, how loud the 12th man was. Arrowhead is going to bring everything that they can to that stadium.
No doubt.
If you had to assign a percentage of effect on the game, because we had the people saying, "Oh, there's people in the stands. Josh Allen can't play." I didn't mean to make that point, but people were saying that. How big do you think that's going to be, both on the offense and defensive side of the ball, as far as communication goes?
Well, I will say Allen did bring it up that their fans are probably the loudest. Like he's went through as far as stadiums go. Like they're no joke. They do bring it. I have to give them credit. On offense, a little bit more than defense. I think defense, man, they're all pretty much all vets except for Gregory. I think they're going to handle it fine, right? On offense, on the other hand, we'll see. I mean, Spencer Brown, rookie right tackle, right?
True.
Will he be jumping a little? Will he be a little bit giddy in this game, right? You got Emmanuel Sanders is kind of fresh to the team, even though he's a vet. Still, it's a hostile environment. I mean, maybe he jumped off sides, I think at home last week because he wasn't used to Josh Allen on the hard counts. So stuff like that, it could play a role. And then you're back 5 yards on a penalty, 10 yards for those kill us. Those shoot us in the foot every time. So, it'll be a little bit, but I want to say it's going to be crazy. Listen, just Josh Allen's 4th season, right? Like he should. This is, and I would assume they're practicing this, by the way, in practice with speakers. Like they're getting ready for the loud.
Nothing will mimic Arrowhead though, because I'll tell you this right now. And everyone's talking in the chat with, if the Bills lose, it's going to be, how did they lose? Like if both quarterback throw for over 400, and then you know what I mean. It would mean more if Mahomes threw for over 400 than if Allen did, based on how the defenses have performed. But I'm going to take you guys down a trip down memory lane. Do you remember when the Bills beat the Patriots 34-31? I tweeted out the very next day. This is years ago. I tweeted out the very next day. I'm like, Brady does not turn the ball over 4 times in every game, and you just beat him by 3. So don't expect that to be the norm when you play the Patriots again in Foxborough. Bring that same energy, blah, 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 and all this other stuff. I always err on the side of caution. I get beat up by #Nation for it. I understand that. That's my role. I will try to be as objective as possible. But if the Buffalo Bills are to, let's say they pick off Mahomes 3 times and they win by 3, I don't know if I'm comfortable with that win.
No.
I would love the win, but I'm not comfortable with it. You know what I mean?
No. I totally hear you, because doing that's a lot of turnovers. Yeah. I think, listen, if we win by 3, something went wrong with probably with the offense, because I think the defense is going to do their job. I do. I think they're going to listen. Kansas City hasn't been scoring like crazy on teams this season. They're okay. I mean, I think, what are they ranked on offense? I think they're.
I
want to say
offensively, the Kansas City Chiefs,
3rd or something like that.
4th in yards, 5th in passing yards, 8th in rushing yards, tied for 2nd with the Bills in points.
Okay, see, I mean, right. So listen, now our defense is night and day compared to the Chiefs, right? So
yes.
What has our defense been doing? Getting turnovers, giving our offense good field position, right? Because making stops where they have to punt it, and we get it at the 50, our 40, whatever. So we have to win by, I would say, if we have turnovers like that, 14 points, 17 points. If Mahomes throwing it,
I think you got to score on all of them. I think you would have
to score
on all of them.
Yeah.
Here's the thing that I worry about, and like I said, I'm always going to err on the side of caution, so you guys can beat me up later. It's fine. Currently, as far as the Chiefs go, they beat the Browns 33-29. They lose to the Ravens 36-35. They lose to the Chargers 30-24. And then they just beat the Eagles at Philly 42-30, where the Eagles didn't even punt. And they lost by 12.
Right.
So that's the reason why I bring that point up. You're talking about a Kansas City team where their defense is so bad they couldn't even force a punt, and they still outscored the team by 12.
Right.
It's third down conversions too. This is the most telling point on offense. Chiefs are number one, 64.1% conversion on third downs. Bills are tied for second with 50%. That keeps the offense on the field, and it keeps Josh off the field. Can we see a role reversal this Sunday where, hey, they have a high-powered offense over there. Our defense is not playing. This is Kansas City talking. They have a high-powered offense over there with 17. Our defense is not playing very well. Maybe we have to eat some clock with some running plays, some short passing plays to try to eat this clock. What do you think the likelihood of Kansas City will try to shorten the game on the Bills?
So they're going to do our play calling from the AFC Championship game?
Yes.
Is what you're saying?
Because I think Kansas City believes they can outscore Buffalo.
Okay.
I'm just giving an alternate opinion.
I think it's an awful idea for them. But go ahead.
Okay. No, I was just giving an alternate opinion.
No, it's great.
Our defense sucks right now. We can't stop a nosebleed. You got 17 and 14 and 26 and 88 coming in that are going to just score all over the place. We know for 4 games what scoring all over the place looks like. Andy Reid almost had a heart attack. I mean, Jesus Christ. So that being said, we've played let's outscore them football for 4 games, and we're 2-2. We got to change something.
Yeah, so that won't work. I don't think it'll work. I think no. Listen, we're a different defense than we're stopping the run. By the way, teams are not running on us. This is not the same.
No.
Bills defense. We are. I think teams are averaging 65 yards against us. Something very low. I think the Kansas City has the ranked 15th or 16th rushing on offense, so they're not tearing it up on rushing. Their running backs okay, right? What do they rank? 15, 16?
They're eighth. They're eighth. They're averaging $130 a game on the ground, and Buffalo's giving up 68, ranks 4th.
Exactly. So I mean, I don't see that happening. And listen, if they start changing their game plan, just to keep us off the field, it's a mistake. That's exactly what we did, and it doesn't. That's good. I hope they do. I'll be honest with you. I really go ahead and switch it up and play for us. I guess that's not going to work. That's what we did. I hate that game plan. If it's them, I would. I don't see Andy Reid doing that. I'll be real with you. Andy Reid is an offensive guy. He's going to be sticking to what he does best, and that's getting Mahomes out of the pocket. That's creating more time for Mahomes to get these receivers open. Tyreek Hill, you know the same game plan. It's going to be the same thing. I think this game boils down to us bringing the heat and getting Mahomes in bad situations, man, and getting him listen, Mahomes in the Super Bowl. Same with the New England Patriots when they beat them in the championship game. You bring the heat against him, he's a totally different quarterback. Totally different. You saw it this year already. He's still trying to be flashy on the run, and he's turning the ball over. He's making crucial mistakes. Yeah. That's what the Buffalo Bills need to do. Make him get out of his comfort zone. Make him run around, feel that pressure, man, and throw some bad passes, man. And he does it. The proof is there. He's done it this season. But yeah, running against us not going to work. Short passes not going to work.
Apex says put pressure on Mahomes drops his rating 40%. Wow. It's interesting too. Yeah, you brought up Stefan even said bold prediction. Both our rookies get to Mahomes at least twice. Fun fact: even with that new revamped offense and the offense that the Buffalo Bills brought back, Allen's been sacked 5 times this year. But then again, so is Mahomes. So getting him off his spot and actually getting him down are 2 different animals.
Oh, exactly.
So Mahomes will get out of there. Maybe he'll throw it away. Maybe he'll put it in the dirt. Maybe he'll just chuck it up, or he'll try to do one of his, hero ball type things. I mean, he's got 4 picks this year to Allen's 2. So Allen's taking care of the ball more and has more attempts than Mahomes. Think about that one. Who would have thought that Allen would have more passing attempts by the time they met in this game?
Yeah, that's crazy.
And they're scoring all over the place. The Chiefs are just they're having to have shootouts with everybody, and Allen still has more passing attempts than Mahomes.
Right. Yep. No, I mean, like you said, like putting pressure and sacking is just two different things, right? So Mahomes is not a guy. He's not Big Ben, where like he's not mobile. He's just gonna take the hit and go down slowly because he just doesn't. That's the way he falls. But Mahomes on a different level. He's gonna get out of there. He's gonna squibble his way out of there. But he's gonna make mistakes, right? That's how this game's gonna come down to turnovers, man. Turnovers are huge in this game as well. I also would like Frazier to bring multiple blitzes from corners and safeties. I just want the mixture of not knowing where the blitzes are coming from. I love the game plan he did in week 2 against the Dolphins. I thought it was brilliant, man. I just love the different angles. And we never really done that, to be honest with you, against Mahomes. We've always played like this soft zone where we're just making sure he doesn't hit us with the big plays, but we're giving him major time in the back there to do what he wants to do. And I hated that. I want to bring the heat, and let's take that opportunity for him to make a mistake.
I like it. I worry about vacating a zone because bringing a corner blitz or a safety blitz or anything like that off of the corner against Jacoby Brissett is far different than bringing it against Mahomes. I'm just saying.
It is.
I always try to temper expectations. I would be too conservative as a coach. Like, I would not be confused with Bruce Arians ever. If I was ever in the same
no doubt. But Jacoby Brissett is a veteran quarterback who, by the way, still got out of some of those blitzes. It wasn't like we blitzed him, but he made mistakes, right?
Yes.
And he's a veteran, man. He's not a terrible quarterback. Yep. Yeah, he's not a bad quarterback by any means. No Mahomes, but I still would like that pressure on him and like, I'm not saying bring it every time. I'm not saying bring Trey every other play on a blitz, but just the fact that Micah can go in there, he's not knowing that, by the way, we don't really do it much, but bringing in linebacker blitzes, I would love for Tremaine to go in there once in a while on a blitz, because I think, man, when we use him on a blitz, he gets there. We just don't often do it.
I love him coming off the corner.
Yeah,
we just don't do the A gap, not so much. I don't like him through the A gap.
That's true. Yeah.
I like him coming off the corner. Bill's Mafia man comes in and says, 55 says, will we be playing base or nickel defense this week? Tommy, what do you think? Are we going to do more base? You're going to see more. Let's just put it this way. Are you going to see more Teron Johnson? Or are you going to see more AJ Klein this week?
I think more Klein, man. I think Klein's gonna. Yeah, I do. I think they're gonna use Klein a little bit more in this game more than you think too. Klein is very good at blitzing the quarterback, by the way. Very good.
He is.
I could see him coming in as a rotation, especially on those blitz packages, and causing a little havoc back there, man. He's a smart player. He's just not very good at guarding like tight ends and stuff. It's a little lost out there in space and on the field. But for blitz packages, man, yeah, I bring it every time with Klein, bro. So I wouldn't mind Klein in there.
Ray Lopez. We should start Mitch. Talk about misdirection.
Right. Yeah.
What's going on here?
What?
Thank you, Troy. Definitely smash that like button. About 83 people in here. You are listening to the Tailgate Talk presented by #Sports with our sponsors, Mr. Rogers Homes and CBDX.com. Mr. Rogers Homes will have his brochure in the description. After the show's over, I gotta redo the description. Some of the links didn't really post very well. Also, CBDX.com, you get 20% off if you use the promo code HTS. That's CBDX.com. We're going to be going on to, I want to talk about some bold predictions and your sleeper for this week, Tommy. I think this
is my sleeper player.
Your sleep, like, obviously the focus is on Mahomes and Allen. Everyone knows that. Focus injury-wise is on Milano. You start talking about Tyreek Hill being a beast, Travis Kelce. Who's going to be on Kelce? We even talked about it earlier today. Stefan, I miss Bojo. Stop it.
I don't miss Bojo.
I miss Mormon. That's what I miss.
Yeah. Brian Mormon was really good.
So you can go either direction. I'll follow you. You want to talk about the sleeper for this game or your bold prediction for the game?
I'll go with sleeper first. It shouldn't even be a sleeper anymore, and I have to bring it up. Dawson Knox.
Oh, love it.
I'm just loving how he's playing. And I gotta say, moving forward, that's such a great idea, the tight end university thing, that players should bring that up, do different position in the offseason, like running back university. I've been saying it because it's really helpful. It seems, bro, he's playing night and day compared to what he was his first 2 seasons, right? 3 seasons. So I think he's going to be a surprise player. I think he's been playing out of his mind, to be honest with you. I think if Allen's going to throw to him a lot more this game because they're going to be concentrating on Diggs a lot more. I definitely see Knox and Emmanuel Sanders being Josh's go-to guys in this game. Those two guys, if I had to pick two players that are probably going to have a hell of a game, and I see Knox having 2 touchdowns.
Knox with
I like
2.
him. I don't see their defense guarding Knox either, man. I think their defense is god awful, and I think they're going to have to guard one of the best receivers in the league, and then you got one of the best slots in the league. Knox is going to eat, man. If Josh throws his way, Knox is going to have a field day. I'm telling you right now.
Ooh, I like it. Okay, to go back, I like both of those, honestly. So, did you the sleeper I'm gonna have? And this is funny. I went back to the because we all know the EP system is a derivative of what New England ran, and if you want to look at the last time the Chiefs had a less than stellar defense, they lost in the AFC Championship game against New England. Remember that overtime game? Mm-hmm. The most targets went to Rob Gronkowski, who had 11 in that game. So the tight end had the most targets. So the receivers, albeit not the best that Brady had, the next guy that had the most targets was Julian Edelman. So to add on to your Dawson Knox being a big sleeper in this game, I'm going to add Cole Beasley as the second biggest sleeper in this game, just for the fact of I love the way that he moves the chains when he has to for this Buffalo Bills offense. You know, just doing those little intermediate routes, catching the ball underneath, doing things he needs to do. I love that the Buffalo Bills in the first 4 games, albeit they're not breaking unbelievable records offensively, they are spreading the ball around to everyone. So there's nobody that Kansas City can really say, if we shut Diggs down, we win. You guys know the last time you played the Bills, Gabriel Davis had a broken leg. Cole Beasley had a foot in the coffin. You know, Diggs was getting shut down. And
John Brown was
Brown was hurt. You know what I mean? These guys are kind of healthy now. So that's going to be the one thing. As far as a bold prediction, because my original pick was Moss. Because I had Moss having like about 120 all-purpose yards in this game.
Wow.
And I love him as far as a matchup against this defense because running and catching, he can do both. And he would just torch this defense. I just know they would. And if they go to the AFC Championship game against the Chiefs, what are the Chiefs going to do? You're going to take your pick. You want to shut down Moss or Diggs? One of those two is going to kill you. So I like it from a longevity standpoint as well. But my bold prediction going into the game on Sunday is going to be that the Kansas City Chiefs, as high-powered as they are and as explosive as they are on offense, will not get 10 points by the half. They will not score 10 points on the Buffalo Bills by the half.
Okay.
They won't.
That's pretty bold. That's very bold.
I'm going to trust the
like
defense. I want to trust this defense.
Okay.
So, all right. So what did you do your bold? I can't remember. Did you do your bold prediction?
I didn't do a bold prediction, but I have a bold score prediction.
Ooh, I like it. Let's go. Let's go, Tommy.
Buffalo 44, Kansas City 23.
44-20. They're going to beat them by 20 points?
Yes.
Oh, I love it. Hey, hashtag Nation, drop the score predictions in the chat. Evan Anderson.
Bills win 97.
Bills win 97. I got to put that on a shirt, man. I can't. I'm getting torched with that. What gets missed in the whole thing was I had the Bills winning the division at 9-7. So these guys keep forgetting the second part that I still had them winning the division at 9-7. All right, Stefan, 44-0. Wait, let me scroll up. Here we go. Stefan, 44-0. Old Fashioned Trousers, 44-0 as well.
I like it.
Mafia Man, 37-17 Bills. John Patrick, 69-0 Bills win. Stop looking at those websites, John.
Right.
Jose de Bills Mafia, 37-27 Bills. Jessica Tennis, 38-23. Who else did I?
Hey, close to what I said. There you
go. Where's Mike Trotter? Click down. There we go. Mike Trotter, 34-27. I love this. I predict our first punt will be in the fourth quarter after Trubisky stalls on his third drive.
Right.
I love it. Now, it's as we're getting close to wrapping this up. Like I said, thank you guys for joining us tonight, all 90 of you. So what I want to say is this: hindsight's always 20/20. If the Buffalo Bills do blow them out, is this leading up to it and the broadcast that we've done and the analyzing that we did, is that just Ghost of Christmas Past? Is that what just all the aura of the Kansas City mystique? Is that what it is? Or was it just like, we haven't beaten this team yet, so until they beat them, we have to have these talks about the game being close or whatnot?
I think it's a game where you're going to Arrowhead and you're having the crowd leaving the third quarter because it's a rout. And I think it's a statement game, like I said earlier. I think it's a game where we're making our stand that we are the new kings of the AFC. And that if we blow them out, they're going to be thinking about us in the playoffs instead of the other way around. Like, what do we need to do to beat the Buffalo Bills? Not what do we need to do to beat the Kansas City Chiefs? That's why I think this game's so important. If we blow them out, trust me, they're going to be thinking about it. They're going to be game planning and doing things totally out of their nature to beat us when we see them again. If we see them again, listen, doesn't mean we will. Kansas City isn't playing very good. They could be beaten in the playoffs by somebody else. You never know. So we may not even see them, but it's a statement game by far. It's time for us to show who the boss is. And by the way, and I got to say this, we built this defense specifically to beat Kansas City and Mahomes. And if we can't do that, then trust me, McDermott's going to go home and he's going to look in the mirror and say, what did we do wrong here? Bean's going to say the same thing. What can we do? What are we doing wrong? We built this team to beat Mahomes and we still cannot solve the puzzle. If we beat them and we beat them bad, they solved the puzzle. And that's it. That's where I'm talking about in this game. I'm serious. Right? I mean, that's what we did in the offseason. The whole offseason was, how do we get to Mahomes? We need pressure. Let's go get two edges right away. That's what we need to do. It's all about Mahomes. They didn't talk about beating anyone else, right?
No.
It's all about, right. So if we go and we stink it up Sunday night, trust me, I know it's just a loss, but to their mind, there's no way. They're going to go home and say, what the fuck can we do? I don't get it. Like, we did everything we can do, and we're still getting thrashed like this. So it's a statement game. If they do it right and we beat the shit out of them, they did their job. Everybody's happy. Trust me. Everybody.
Well, I know that in the first matchup in the regular season last year, the Buffalo Bills were hell-bent on taking away the pass. I think Mahomes was like 20 for 25 or something like that. But they ran the ball well. That's the thing that scared me about the Chiefs is they ran the ball well, and I'm like, oh God, here we go. Right. And that's when Allen was heating up, starting to do all that. So they did kind of have that, to a lesser degree, mindset of keeping the ball out of 17's hands, which they have to. You're going to have to keep the ball out of 17's hands. I think it's more of, until you beat the Chiefs and you equip your team as good as I've seen it in the past years to beat the Chiefs, until you beat them, they're still the Kings. in my book, unfortunately. As bad as their
Right.
defense is, they're 2-2. I understand that. I always said that about the Patriots for the AFC East. Until you knock them off the pedestal, they're still there.
That's right. That's right.
So I'll say this, once the Bills win Sunday, two things will happen in my book. You've exercised some demons to know that you can beat the defending AFC champions, and get your ass in the film room, because Monday night you got another team you have to smack around that beat you last year as well.
Right.
So, but you're going to have two different games that are night and day. So while you say that they prepared their team to beat the Kansas City Chiefs, is their team prepared for King Henry the following week? I mean, we're going to find out.
Yeah, we will. But as of now, yeah. I mean, listen, I thought we played Henry pretty well. Like,
They did.
I don't think he killed us. But I always tell everybody the same thing. When you got a game plan for one individual player, that opens it up for everybody else, right?
Yeah.
And that's why Tennessee pretty much put a thrashing on us, because we were just focused on one aspect, and it, yeah, they killed us on the other part of the game. So can't do that. And by the way, whoever, I think somebody mentioned it in the tweet, in the chat, that we play bad teams. I got to tell you, Washington just won, and that quarterback who did god awful against us had a pretty damn good game. Okay, and they won. And then Dolphins almost beat the Raiders. So it took them overtime. So, and those are teams that we killed, no problem. So, those, I want to say, were easy teams. Were they not the Chiefs? Of course, but I don't think they were the worst in the world. Houston, yes, they're god awful. They're really bad.
Yeah. To your point, Tommy, Derrick Henry carried 19 times for 57 yards.
Yeah,
but he had 2 touchdowns in that game. So you limited him, but everybody else ate, unfortunately,
right.
in that game. Yeah, it's going to be man, freaking Chiefs.
Don't forget, we beat them the year before.
Yes, at their place.
Soundly.
Well, it was 14-13, wasn't it? Didn't we beat them?
No, the year before, I think we blew the roof out.
Allen's rookie year, I think they beat him. They beat him pretty good. I'll have to look at that.
I think it was, I want to say 2019. Was it 2018? I remember we beat him. I thought we beat him by more than that. They had I think Mariota was Mariota's last. He got benched, right?
Let me look at these real quick.
A game after. Yeah. That's when Tannehill came in.
Tennessee Titans. What? He's never played them? Oh, Oilers and Titans. Freaking stupid football reference. Allen's rookie year, they beat him 13-12, and then they beat him 14-7. So it's always been roughly.
Okay, 14-7. Okay, I thought we beat. It was in Tennessee though, right?
Yes, it was. It was 14-7. That's when the tables were going all over the place. People were just
right. That's right. The guy missed the table.
Guy missed the table and hit a tree. What's wrong with you, dude? Right. All right, so we have to have one. Tommy, like I said, I'm just keeping the seat warm for Mike. I have to have a bet with you, though. It's customary.
Okay. Sure.
I will bet you that on the first play of the game, the first offensive possession for the Buffalo Bills, it will be a play action deep bomb to either Sanders or Diggs. That's what they're going to call the first play, and I'm willing to stand.
So the first play is going to be a play action bomb?
Yes, I'll say it's a play action bomb. I'm willing to stake any kind of bet that Hashtag Nation wants to go on it. If they don't do that, the push will be if they throw on first down. If they run the ball, you win.
I don't think they're doing a bomb though. That would be a mistake. I'll be real with you. If I don't like that. That was what they. No, I want Allen to get in the groove. I wouldn't mind, honestly, Cole Beasley, right? A 6-yard quick slant, something like that to get him in a rhythm. And by the way, Allen needs to get out of the pocket for this game a little bit. I like when he's on the run, rolling out a little bit more than when he's kind of in the pocket, unless he has a lot of time. But I just feel like when he rolls out, it gets players more time to free up, and it just gives keeps the defense on their feet, right? Like they don't
Yeah.
know if he's taken off and I think he's the
True,
best
yeah.
quarterback who throws on the run. I mean, the guy can hit you going out of
Mhm.
bounds where you think it's there's no way, and he puts it just perfectly. I don't know. I would like to see rollouts by Josh Allen in this game. A lot of different kind of rollouts. That's why I'm saying with Dable, I think he's going to bring I think you're going to see a little bit more of the playbook that you haven't seen yet this year.
I just don't want him to
And
get
this
too
specific one.
cute.
No, not cute. I'm not saying cute. Right? Like a play action deep pass is cute.
I only say that because I want all those intermediate and short throws for Allen. And by doing that on the first play, let's say you complete it. That puts that seed of doubt in the defense to be like, hey, we got to cover deep. They're going to try to hit us deep today.
Right.
And it will, I know it's play by play, but the deal is this. If you put that seed of doubt that, hey, we're going to try to score on you early and often, and we're not waiting, we're putting our foot on your throats because we smell blood in the water. You put that seed of doubt, you're able to hit all those underneath routes, and they're going to be wide open for you.
Yeah.
So
yeah, no, I wouldn't hate it if it worked. I wouldn't hate it if it worked, but I don't really want that to be. I want deep passes. I would love that, but I want them to open up. Just okay. Allen's in a groove, like the Green Bay preseason game. Get the ball out quickly, 6 yards, 8 yards, 5 yards. Let's get in a rhythm, and then you go for the Gabe Davis 35-yard touchdown. And then you're feeling yourself on then I don't care. The next drive, open up and throw a bomb. You know what I mean? Like with the first play. But I kind of want to get him in a rhythm first. But hey, I think Allen, to be honest with you, I think Allen talked to Dable after week 1. I think they really went back and it took a lot of plays out of that playbook that Allen wasn't comfortable with. And I think Allen even mentioned something like that they went and talked about some of the play calling, that he was comfortable with, stuff like that. So
yeah.
We'll see. Like, by the way, I don't want to see any quarterback draws this game. Like, I cannot.
I mean, Kansas City can run as many as they want. That's fine.
Right. I don't want to see that. And by the way, I mentioned this, and I know we're running out of time here. You're going to see a lot less of Josh Allen running as seasons go on, which it's already showing in year 4. They're going to limit it's not going to be like it was, for the first 2 years. You got to keep the guy healthy.
Yeah.
And for as much as he's like Superman to us, so is Cam Newton to the Panthers.
Yeah.
Until he took enough hits where, he's now Clark Kent and he's at home and he can no longer put that suit on. So I don't want that to be Josh in year 8. You know what I mean?
I don't think the Bills are paying $260 million for a running back. They're not doing that. No.
Right. So like the week 1 where he kept calling like draw plays, I'm like, what is going on here? So like hopefully he, tore that part out of the playbook and
well, you know how they say the fear of something is almost worse than the actual act.
Right.
You still have to plant that while the kid's young.
Sure.
You still got to plant that fear into the defense that they have to.
No, yeah.
And then when they keep somebody at home, that's why the running for Allen was always so beneficial for him because, and I know, like I said, we got to get going. Running was so beneficial because teams just couldn't straight up play man and turn their backs to him because then he'd be behind them 30 yards down the field. So that's what opened up a lot of his development was a lot of these teams had to play zone against him to keep everything in front and try to generate a pass rush or blitz off the corner and with a zone blitz and stuff like that. And he was able to adjust to those things. And we saw the full manifestation of him adjusting last year, 40 total touchdowns and 4,000 yards. So it was really great to see his development. I can't wait until the Sunday game. Ladies and gentlemen, Joe will be calling the game on Sunday. Make sure you tune in for that. Tommy, tell everyone where they can find you.
The Mafia Sports Report on YouTube. I go live at 7:35 on Saturdays, and then Monday I go live at 6:35. That's it. Tommy Talks Bills on Twitter.
Love it. Joe, like I said, Joe will be calling the game on Sunday, followed by Paul and me doing the post game at like 11:30 and 12 o'clock. But before that, come wake up with me tomorrow for the hashtag hangover because I actually may have one. So thank you for joining me and Tommy. Mike, I kept your seat warm. Hopefully I did a good job. And hashtag Nation Bills Mafia. You guys take it easy. And I'll see you guys tomorrow by myself tomorrow morning.
Go Bills.
All right.